how's it going? Today I have some books here to share with you. These are the books I've read and or am reading here for the month of July. The month is over here in just a few short hours, and I have a few books I might work on a little bit more that I'm not quite finished with, but meanwhile I wanted to go ahead and share with you what I did read and what I'm reading and what other shenanigans I've been up to so far this month. So this was a really small reading month for me. I normally read quite a bit more, but it's just been a month where a lot's been happening. Some medical concerns of my work switched its shifts on me by a complete 180. I used to work nights and now I'm working mornings. So, and I talked like a complete 12-hour difference on those. So it's just been a little bit of adjustments for the month between that and the heat. So my reading time has suffered some for all that. But I did get some done, and I'm happy that I got what I did get done. So I did get a couple books I don't have with me here that were, one was an audio book that was just through Overdrive. That was The Austere Academy by Lemony Snicket. That was book 5 of the series of Unfortunate Events. Overall, I liked this. I have mixed thoughts on the series overall. It seems to be dragging on and getting a bit frustrating, but I'm still enjoying it. This one here was read by Tim Curry, so there's been various people who have done the audiobooks depending which one you get your hands on, it seems. But they are all still really good, and I'm enjoying them overall and hope to continue that next month. The other books I finished were Down with the Shine by Kate Karis Quinn, or Karius. I'm not sure how you say the middle name there, and I do apologize for any mispronunciations of that. That one I had very little knowledge going into of what I was getting into. It's been on my Kindle for way too long, and all I remembered was moonshine and wish making. So it was actually pretty good. I enjoyed that. The last book was my favorite of the month, one of my top favorites of the entire year so far, and that was Legendary by Stephanie Garber. I wish I can show you these. My Kindle is almost dead, so, and I can't find the charger, so sorry, no visual representation of these books. But that book, if you have not read Carval or Legendary, go read them. They are fantastic. I didn't think I was going to like Legendary that much because it's from their sister's perspective, and I didn't like her so much in the first book, but that completely changed. I will discuss that book more in a future video. So, but overall, yes, go read the series, and I wish the third book was coming out sooner. I hate the idea of waiting at this point. It was so good. The next book, we're going into the physical stack finally, was J.R.R. Tolkien's The Fellowship of the Ring. I read this many years ago, and I read that in The Hobbit but never finished. And before I go any further, I wanted to do a refresh my mind, and I'm glad I did because there's a lot that I missed here, and I think my memory went toward the movies, both the animated versions and the Peter Jackson's versions, and there's a lot that's in here that is not in those. So I'm glad I came back and did that. If you have not read the book, I recommend doing so highly. Even if you watch the movie, don't just take it off that. There's so much more happening, and I'll go into that in a future video as well. The next one is one I'm still working on, and that is Inkspell here by Cornelia Funk. I read the first 2 books and started on the third several years ago, but never finished it. I had to return the book to the library and never did pick it back up. So I thought it was time, but before I did, I wanted to refresh myself on the first 2, so I started over in June, read Inkheart, now I'm on Inkspell. Didn't quite finish with this one. This one is read by Brendan Fraser, and while I like him already as an actor, especially in like the Mummy movies, I don't care for him as a narrator for this. I know he played Mo in the movie, but I really feel that the voices, I didn't like how they were projected. They didn't match the voices I had created in my own head, nor did they match the voices from the first book at all. And so I'm really struggling with that because of that a bit in a way. So I have mixed thoughts on that one. The next one I read was Sleep, Meryl, Sleep, and that is by Silk Stein. This I was sent for by the author in return for just a short little review on Goodreads, which I did. Overall, cute little book, late elementary, early middle school book. So the next one after that was Battle Royale by Kashun Takumi. I'm not done with this one. I'm still reading this, but gotta say I am liking it a lot. It's action-packed, it's violent as can be, it's the original Hunger Games, as they refer to it as often, this came out years before the Hunger Games was ever created, but very similar in style of a bunch of teens go in and only one's coming out. This is much more brutal, but I'll go into a lot more about that in a future review as well. Once I've finished it, I will do a video on that book. The next one is Margaret Atwood's The Handmaid's Tale. Again, this is one I'm in progress with as well. Yeah, those are my in-progress books. Sorry, I have 3 of them still working on there. This one I'm liking overall, but I have mixed thoughts on exactly what I think of it. It's dark and a bit dreary and morbid in some ways, but it's intriguing at the same time for where she got her ideas from on that book. Now, this last book is one I really enjoyed, and that is Illumini by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. At first I liked this, and then I felt like I got a little lost, and before I can really piece together what's going on in the story, you get halfway through and it is non-stop. I could not put this book down. I'm so glad I was doing a readathon when I was reading this, because I literally did not want to put this down to even so much as get a drink. So this is not as good as Legendary on the scales of the monthly reads, but definitely another top contender. The style is like nothing I've ever read before. It is just so very different. I mean, it starts off with ideas of transcripts. Yes, the cover comes off very easily here. To all on black writing and pages. You never know what's going to be happening with this book. There's just images and pictures and all sorts of stuff. I'll go into this book another time before I keep rambling on that now. But definitely recommend it as a fun sci-fi. Lots of details in that series. Well, the book. I haven't read the series yet. Getting ahead of myself, apparently, in my own mind. I'm eager to get to the next book. I gotta go buy it still and get my hands on it. So that's what I read. Other things I was up to that were fun. I got into getting a bunch of those little Orby-style water beads, and I got them years ago originally for my wedding, and we used them for the flowers, and they were a lot of fun. The guests actually had fun playing with them. The kids had a blast with them, but I wanted to take a step further, and I was watching people on YouTube, and they'd take the videos where they'd actually get into like a hot tub or a bathtub full of them. And I was like, oh, that looks fun. And I remember how they stayed nice and cool for days afterwards. And so I tested it again in a small little container, and sure enough, they stayed nice and cold. And 3 days later, even in this heat, I'm able to stick my hand and arm right in there, and they're all nice and cool and wet, and was loving them. So I ordered a bunch and filled up my tub, and it wasn't just all the way full. I didn't go that crazy, but I did actually just end up just getting up to cover everything up, and just enjoyed getting in, and they were nice and fun to get in and out of, just to stay cool. The weather is so hot, so fun little way to stay cool, and very playful. And I was able to play with them. They bounce and they have just a blast. And now they're sitting in a big 58-gallon container, still ready to go and ready to reuse whenever I want to, or just enjoy. Eventually I'm going to probably pull them out here once I can actually move more. Right now I'm on a sprained ankle, yay. But once I can, I'll probably pull the container out here and enjoy it out here when I'm just reading, and just soak my feet in them, just have fun. I'm excited. I'm getting a kick out of them. My playful inner child comes out with those. Something else fun I did is I went to the Berkeley Kite Festival they just had this past weekend, and that timed up with a readathon I was doing, and kind of did the readathon, but with my work schedule switches in life, I actually ended up not doing as much as I thought I would there, but had a great time at the festival. Got to reconnect with some friends, and just got to see some great kites. Got to go on an ocean dinner cruise afterwards. That was a lot of fun. The only bad part, of course, was of course, when I twisted my ankle, and I'm now a little bit laid up with a swollen foot. So, we'll see how the next day or two goes, and then I'll be back on my feet and moving about like normal. Good reading time, though. Yay! Watched several movies, including Hotel Transylvania 3, and The First Purge, and Jurassic Park Fallen World. Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. Boy, did I get that messed up. Long day already so far, as you can tell, apparently. But I'll go into some movies that I've seen lately in another video probably as well. I don't want to make promises, but I'm probably going to try to do a video on those in the next week or two. So those are some of the fun things I've been up to this past few weeks in the books I've read this month. Not a very large selection of books read, but hey, some months are like that. Other months I do a lot. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed, and let me know what you read also here in July. Bye.